I get asked how many sets I do, and the answer is I've pretty much always done 10, but there's a longer answer. Since I started sharing, I've received feedback on how I train, and I've realized this many sets is not typical. But I think there's a huge underappreciated value to it, and if you'll bear with me, I'll explain. People who call such high sets overtraining and not optimal reveal they don't take into account half of fitness, the mental component. Talk about suboptimal. It's not optimal to attempt to train the body without thinking of the mind that propels the body forward. If we agree fitness is mental, an example of a suboptimal approach would be one that underestimates or just doesn't even at all take into account the mental aspect of fitness, and this approach is literally insane because we define our own insanity trying to do the same thing over and over again expecting different results, and this is what we do when we try to do something different to get different results without first changing anything about ourselves. Breaking this pattern is a problem for so many people, and it starts by understanding that changes that occur in the mind reflect changes that occur in the body. If you can stay focused and push through 10 sets of an exercise and do this consistently, everything after becomes easy because what you've been doing, persevering through more work for the sake of it, is something like resistance training for the mind. And this does change something about you. It changes the way you think. For one thing, you figure out how to break down large tasks and overcome them. I've never struggled with being consistent or being disciplined or any kind of the mental toughness associated with good fitness because training with high sets like this is how I made my bones in the gym. I stood at the squat rack for an hour, long past the point where Optimal Lift Bro completed his 3 sets and moved on. You need to think beyond the immediate physical results and dig deeper mentally. It's not abstract either. It can be done by simply going past the point when you usually stop. Even if this means beyond the point often promoted as what is scientifically optimal and peer-reviewed to be perfectly physically optimal and what would produce the best results in a vacuum. Your body isn't exercising in a vacuum without you. You're in there too. And you must also take into account what is mentally optimal. When you start taking into account the mind, what goes on upstairs while you work out, you begin to iron out new pathways in your mind that will push your body further for longer, long enough to get the results you seek. This is where you start to think differently and become a different person. A person who will breeze through being consistent far past the point where the optimal fitness person who paid mental fitness no mind fell off. To the point where those mental changes reflect strong and lasting physical changes because, again, at this point you are different. You fundamentally change something about yourself. Through higher reps and higher sets, you fundamentally become a different person, and so you can expect fundamentally different results.